And then finally, please use the chat box for all questions. And that way, when we get to the questions, we'll try to read them off, and then the appropriate people will respond. As we get started here, we have a really great crew of people on here today with us. I'm going to just let everybody know that we, as always, we have our headmaster on here. We've got our division heads from the upper and middle school, Flynn Corson from the middle school and Dr. Winters. We have our assistant division heads, Marshall Spooner and Rick Colombo are here with us. We've got Andrew Leday. I think I saw him jump on. Is he there? Yep, there he is. And we've got this incredible tech team that has joined us today. And before I introduce them, we also have Polly Beschenstein from our lower school and Laura Moore from our middle school, our mental health people. So I'm just going to pass this for a brief second over to our tech team, who are going to go around and introduce themselves and give you a little 10-second spiel on what they do. I don't know who wants to go first. Maybe I'm looking in my upper left-hand corner. It's Sam. I don't know if you want to go first, Sam.
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Sam Rosenfeld. I'm a GCDS alum. I've been working at the school now for, I think, 9 years. I've lost track of the day, so I'm not sure yet. But I work in the tech department, database administrator, computer science, and excited to be here today.
I'll just jump in. My name is Kylie Tarr. I'm the upper school registrar. I'm also part of the tech department, IT support specialist. And I'm primarily in the upper school, and I have a kid in kindergarten.
Sure, I'll go next. I'm Jason Hamilton. I'm the network administrator. I have a daughter who's in 7th grade, and looking forward to your questions.
I'll go next. Hi, I'm Doug Malolo. I've been here for 16 years. I do a little bit of everything, what's needed, jump in and help for all causes across the campus, students, parents, and adults, everybody. So.
Hi, I'm Tom Hart. I'm the Director of Technology. I'm also a parent. I have a current 10th grader here at GCDS in the upper school, who has been remote learning for the past 2 months. And I've been experiencing it from both a technology support side and as a dad.
Hi, I'm Donna Sappis. I'm the admin assistant of technology, and I manage all of those people. So if you need any help with anything, you email support@gcds.net and we will help you.
Hi, I'm Karen Wolf. I teach computer science in grades 6, 7, and 8. Just I'll mention a major part of our curriculum in computer science involves digital citizenship skills, and just having our students think about how to be safe and responsible while online.
I think we got everybody, correct? I'm looking through and it looks like we got everybody. Great.
We got Gordy.
Hey. Oh, Gordy.
Hey, this is Gordon Campbell, high school computer science and engineering. And I spend a lot of my time thinking about course integration.
Okay. All right, now looks like we have everybody. Sorry, Gordy. All right, I'm just trying to look quickly through here with faces. Okay, good. We have this incredible team, and I don't know what we would do, or what. Maybe I'll just speak from the I don't know what I would do without this team and the amount of help and support that they have given us as we have jumped into this unprecedented time. I'm looking at, Flynn's comment here. We would have been in big trouble. Even doing this parent forum, in order for us to get this parent forum up and running, the amount of time that we spent with Sam and with Tom and with the team trying to figure out how we could get this amount of people on it and get this up and running has been incredible. So really, tech team, thank you. And a special shout out to Dawn Hassapis for managing them. And Just saying, Don.
Thanks, Jeffy, but I'm eating lunch, so I kind of hid my.
They're easy to manage from remotely, though. It's when you put them all in the same room, it becomes a bit of an issue.
She does keep us in line.
Mm-hmm.
And here we go. So what I thought we would do, parents, is start off actually with Sam and letting Sam share his screen. Sam has created a parent boot camp that I'm sure that many of you know about. I don't know how many of you have actually gone on and looked at it and spent some time understanding what it involves. So Sam, if you wouldn't mind just jumping us off and getting us going and walking us through that.
Absolutely. And for those of you who may not know where this is located, I have shared in our chat here a link to the remote learning parent bootcamp, as well as we're going to schedule this link to go out to you again in the next few days. I'm going to share it right now on my screen and try and anticipate. I don't know if you're able to see this right now. Are you able to see the screen?
Yeah, I can see it. Yep.
Great. Okay. So this document has been sent to you, I think, back in March, but we're going to send it again. What we're trying to do here is provide you with a guide to help manage the immense number of tasks happening through your home technology. You can imagine how difficult that is because everyone's setup is different. But what we're going to try and do is just walk through for 1 or 2 minutes what this document is and what it isn't. What it isn't is a be-all, end-all guide. You can always email us at support@gcds.net, and we can go through your specific home's setup. If you're having internet trouble, if you have a specific question about managing devices at home, we would love to go through that with you. This guide can show you certain things like, let's say your student laptop is having issues. What can you do? Well, we have a system. If you email us again, support@gcs.net, we're actually doing a drop-off pickup system on the Old Church Road campus at a building called the Stone Cottage. This short video will teach you how to drop off your laptop there. A brief explanation of how to get started with Gmail, which your students are well versed in. But even for our parents, knowing how to use Gmail, Google Hangouts, Google Meet, all of these tools can help you in organizing your remote work experience as well. And we wanted to provide those resources here. At this point, everyone, including Adam here, is a pro at Zoom, which I'm sure all of us hadn't even heard of Zoom at the start of this school year. And it's amazing how quickly we can all learn these things. There's still so much more to learn, and I encourage you to flip through some of these videos. We've been using Zoom extensively in our household, connecting with my brother in California, my sister who's a doctor up in Boston, my parents who are down the road in Stanford. And I don't know if we're going to be doing wedding planning via Zoom. We're going to figure that one out as it comes, but who knows? So the section I really want to highlight here for the parents out there is this day 3, managing devices and screen time at home. We tried to break this up into a boot camp so that you don't have to do everything all at once. It's kind of a day-by-day guide. And on day 3, there was Circle and Custodio. These devices here are, and software applications are designed to help you get control of a diverse set of applications and devices you have at home. So if you have an iPad, laptop, Chromebook, smart TV, and you want to figure out how much time are we as a family really spending on different applications? How much time are we really spending playing these games versus being on Zoom? And what if I want to set up hard limits on certain things and I need it to work across all these devices? We tried to compile a list. Again, we try our best, and the technology continues to evolve, and we'll continue to update this. We think these are some of the best products out there. They're not all necessary, and I would like to highlight Circle because it has gained an immense popularity lately. It has a lot of features for controlling things like how much time am I spending specifically on Instagram, or how much time, what if I want to restrict certain types of websites and channels at home? Normally at school, we have control to do those things, but at home now there's this explosion of need to do this. I just wanted to highlight this one product for you. continuing onward, this guide is trying to be as comprehensive as possible. So ways to take care of your devices at home. It seems like a mild issue, but taking care of your devices is the key to making sure you have a continuous experience with remote learning as well as your remote work, wherever you're able to do that. Restarting your devices every day. There's one thing you take away from this today. Please restart your computer completely every day. If you're having issues with Wi-Fi at home, we tried to recommend the router that we think addresses that problem best. And the Google Nest Wi-Fi router here is one of several. That one we've experienced a lot of success with. I'm going to stop sharing my screen here and just end by saying that I'm forever grateful to all of the parents out there for being so wonderful in this remote learning experience. We had absolutely no idea how much this entailed on everybody's end, but especially to the parents out there for being willing to play ball with us. We're all learning as we go, and we're going to continue perfecting this recipe. And thanks for being a great team.
Thank you, Sam. Huge help. So we have one, and parents, any questions about that, please throw them into the chat, and we will do our best to respond to them. There was one comment here. It says, feedback from my 9th grader. There are many important project essays running consecutively: English, seminar, science, and history. It can be stressful. A suggestion is to have disciplines work together. For example, English class could help with the essay for seminar rather than have a large project of its own. So I don't know if Chris, any thoughts on that?
Well, it's a great question, and one that we always are trying to improve on, for sure. Our teachers are meeting daily to discuss curriculum, pedagogy, and students themselves. They try to align their work as much as possible. They are very cognizant of what each other is doing, and they also try to work interdisciplinary. So it's possible that at this time of year, things have just piled up, and maybe in this case, Taylor feels a little jammed up from multiple subject areas, but that's good feedback for the teachers, and they're always looking for how can they streamline that and stagger the work so that the students are not being overloaded, multiple tests, multiple projects coming due at the same time.
There was a question here about the name of the router. Did somebody answer that?
Yeah, the name, it's called the Google Nest Wi-Fi router. It's on day 4 of the parent guide, and I'm going to post it again. And yeah, again, all these questions and more, if you have specific questions, like the last one we heard, like I have a specific TV setup and I want to monitor this and that, like if you email support@gcds.net, we can go through the details of your specific home configuration if you need that kind of detailed walkthrough. We also got a question, I believe, in the last one about summer programs, and I'd love to defer to the rest of the team, but we are planning doing some parent workshops over the summer to help guide you through improving on the setup that I'm sure that you've already spent a lot of time thinking about, the home office.
And then it's going to list all the devices connected to your network, and you can assign those devices to whichever user you want to. So you can control the different filtering levels. One is a teen, one is a child, one is an adult. So yes, you can. And I'm using it at my house for my daughter.
And Jay, one of the things that also came up in our last call, which I think is kind of on the minds of some people out there, it's not the be all end all solution. There isn't one. There is not a perfect solution out there. What all of these devices are trying to help you do is quantify. If I feel like I am sitting down for too long on Zoom calls every day, how can I address that problem? And what I've decided to do personally is use like Apple Watch here, but a Fitbit does the same goal. I need to quantify how much time I need to get out there and walk and get up from my computer. And this applies to software as well, right? How much time am I spending playing Fortnite? And can I set a limit for myself? And, as a parent, how much of a limit do we need to impose on our own selves when we're talking about social media usage or screen time? Because I know during this remote learning world, my use of my phone and screen time has gone up a lot too. So it's all about quantifying and finding a balance for ourselves and as families.
Laura, I think I see that Jeff came back, but I'm not sure he's
Yep.
in a different square.
I got booted. Yep, but I'm back.
Fourth row.
Does anyone have some more specific questions for any of the tech team regarding any of the things that we had that they wrote about in the parent boot camp, which again was absolutely incredible, and I needed a ton of that help myself.
Looks like there's a comment in here that says, and if I've missed this because I got booted, I hope this wasn't already talked about, but it says, we have had Circle in our house for over a year, pluses and minuses. Sometimes when Circle is on, it slows down our whole Wi-Fi network and kids can't get on certain websites, et cetera, needed for school. I end up turning it off during school hours since it's hard to manage, but great for limiting night usage. Any other parents have any experience with that, or our tech team have any experience with that?
Well, I'll jump in and just say that this is the real challenge and a puzzle for us is how to provide this kind of troubleshooting from a distance. And everybody's house is set up differently. Everyone has a unique configuration. So what I would suggest that we do is if you're interested in sorting it out, we can set up a time with you individually. But as a general rule, it's always good to just do a speed test on your network, check your router, restart your router, restart your modem. And Jay is an absolute guru in this. So I'm saying things and he's probably like, I can't even believe Sam is actually jumping to try and answer this one. That's okay. But yeah, we can try and help debug those things if you find you have like chronically slow issues whenever the Circle is on and things like that,
Yeah, definitely reach out to us at support@gcds.net and we can try to figure stuff out for you.
I had a parent that wrote to me, besides turning off Wi-Fi from home and good parental monitoring of bedtime, is there anything else that anyone could suggest to help bring the kids off the screens at late night? Sorry for typos. I don't know if there's any other technology type of devices that are helpful in this besides the good parental monitoring or turning off Wi-Fi. So if there's anything from the tech side of that, that would be great to hear.
So that was the question about the time limit the time.
Well, I think the parent's saying, besides turning off Wi-Fi and just good parental monitoring, is there anything else that you all could think of from a tech side of things that could help bring the kids off the screen at late night?
So, I mean, I know for my daughter, she has 10 devices. I kid you not. And because we use the Circle, it really makes it a lot easier. I mean, I shut her internet off at 9 p.m. on all her devices, so she just doesn't have access to it. But you could limit time, application times in Circle as well. So if she's spending too much time on Snapchat, then I can give her a time restriction on that for 30 minutes a day. Again, all situations are unique, so if they wanted to reach out to support, we can definitely go into more detail.
Great, thank you. Polly or Laura, any other thoughts on other strategies that might be helpful at night?
Certainly not on the tech side from me, but I would just add for all of these things, great opportunities to have conversations with your child about this and trying to give them some control and voice in these discussions, knowing that they're going to want to spend a lot of time. And, you know, we talked, or I mentioned briefly last week that we are all, I think, doing things that maybe we would not have done 3 months ago in terms of more time. More screen time, and a lot of it is social. And, you know, Jeff, Polly, and I have been saying since the first one that social piece is so important. For many of us, we are going to allow more time. But then if to just step back sometimes, I think we can all get down on ourselves and feel like we're not getting to every single thing for our children during a really difficult time. And at the end of the day, like we said last week, if your child is basically getting enough sleep, there's going to be nights when they do not. Basically eating well, basically communicating with their friends and having some social interaction, basically on top of their schoolwork and engaged in that process, that maybe things are okay for this moment in time, and this too shall pass.
Yeah, and I'll just reiterate without taking up too much time here. We spoke in the last conversation about just that this is so different, and we recognize that kids and adults are on the screens way more than we would like. So being kinder to ourselves and recognizing that kids need that time to socialize with others. The American Academy of Pediatrics came out in early April and revised their directive around time limitations for kids in terms of not putting an hourly limit on that, so that parents would be maybe a little bit more willing to let kids have additional screen time so that the family unit can be a little bit more wholesome. Work calls can continue, things like that. So I just think we still need the structure there, as Jeff and Laura have spoken about, structure in terms of still having limitations on the screen time, but maybe not having a specific hourly, jurisdiction there.
Yeah, and I'm going to piggyback on both what Polly and Laura said. And my thinking in this is, if you know that your child is staying up way too late, I wonder what they could do or what discussion you could have with them about changing that behavior. There is something that they are getting by staying up that late, whether it's talking to friends or it's playing certain games. And if you start to understand what they're after in those hours, it might be helpful for you to then understand that and then begin to have discussions about what you could change during the day. So as we've talked about before, positive reinforcement is the #1 way to change behavior. It's just, the research just says it's so. And so I would be thinking about, if they do cut their time and they're able to get off their phone at 11 o'clock or whatever rules you've set up, I wonder what they get for that, right? And a lot of times parents will just say, well, that's just the rule, and so that's it, and that's period, right? 11 o'clock, and then what do? They end up sneaking the phone, or there's a fight, or there's an argument, or there's something. I wonder what happens if they can earn something else. I'm not saying money, but earn something else, whether it's dinner decisions or a certain game or other activities, if they're able to get their phone off at a certain time or whatever guidelines that you've set up. So just a thought for a conversation.
And I would just add to really listen with some of those conversations, because as silly as many of us might think Fortnite is and all that, and sometimes they're just playing Fortnite to play Fortnite, but other times, they're squatting up with someone that they've always kind of wanted to spend some time with, and this is their chance. And it really means more to them about that social piece and who they are with at that moment than actually playing Fortnite. And that can be pretty powerful to go up against. So just listen when you're having those conversations. It may be a little bit about that.
Right. And yeah, that was the point. Again, if you can think as a parent, if you can think of 2 C's, being curious and being compassionate when you're listening to your child. And it's, again, in these conversations, it's not about having a conversation so that they can hear you, right? A lot of times as parents, we are trying to talk so they hear us, and then we forget to listen. And the kids know that you're not listening and that all you're trying to do is make your point. A lot of times, if you can be curious and compassionate with what they're trying to tell you, that doesn't mean that you're not going to still get to your point or lay down your rules. It just means you're really listening. And you all know when somebody's really listening to you and really paying attention to what you have to say, the conversation is different, even if they don't agree with you. So being curious and being compassionate, those 2 C's, there's actually something called the 8 C's if you want to look it up. But the 2 C's there are probably the 2 most important in a conversation. So I'm going to go on to the next comment, which is, are the computer screen glasses I've heard about helpful in preventing your eyes from hurting or headaches for too much screen time?
Yeah, are you the brand I think you might be talking about are Felix Gray. They're like blue light filtering glasses. So for those who are not aware, blue light is sort of it's a byproduct of looking at screens for too long. There's literally blue light coming out of the screen, and it can keep you awake for a little longer at the end of the day if you're looking at it all day or late in the evening. So there are certain glasses that can filter out some blue light, but I have a pair, but I don't like wearing them that much. So what I do instead is on my computer, there is again, this is in the boot camp document, so you don't need to rush to write anything down here, but there's an application that's free. It's called Flux, and it changes with the time of day, sunrise and sunset. It actually makes your screen like more orange. And what's really doing is it's taking out the blues. It's removing them so that it's a little less strain on your eye. For your mobile phone, Android and iPhone both have built-in functionality for this. I think on iPhone it's called Night Shift. I can't remember because I turned it on and set it a long time ago. But basically, what you want to try and do is set up your devices in a way that is not going to strain your eyes. That's a real problem. And by the way, if you are sitting at your computer for that long, which sometimes we can't avoid, you got to stand up. You got to stand up and walk away from it. I mean, there are times in some of these Zoom calls where I just, turn off the camera, turn off the microphone, like walk away from it for a minute, because we're not supposed to be staring into a screen for this long.
Thanks, Sam. The next one on here is, at their age, they absolutely don't want to be controlled. They're trying so hard to make and demonstrate good decisions. Suggestions for balance. So I will jump in. I mean, I agree with you that at this age, there is a definite attempt for some level of independence and leave me alone. It's such a funny time, right? Because it's leave me alone, don't bug me, don't ask me what I'm doing, don't ask me about my friends, but pay for me, give me the phone, pay for it all, drive me here. Well, I can't drive them anywhere now, but it's so funny because it's like a complete independence that they're looking for, and yet there's such incredible dependence at the same time. And so in the middle of this psychological imbalance, they are trying to figure out where they stand. So it's a very normal, common, fight or balancing act that they're doing. So I wouldn't, I'd understand that on one end. And then what I really, really believe in this is, what are they trying to get? And so I've mentioned this a couple of times. There's a function behind every behavior, right? So what is the function of their behavior? like Laura said, maybe they're playing Fortnite just to play Fortnite, or maybe they're playing Fortnite so that they can be socially connected with their friends. What's the function of the behavior? What are they getting out of it? And as a psychologist, I'm always trying to think about that, always. So a parent calls me up, I'm wondering, what is the parent concerned about? What's driving the phone call? Important to be thinking about. And if you start thinking this way, and again, there's the C for curiosity, what are they really trying to say in this argument? Now, the other side of this is most of the time, they already know what the right decision is. They already know, but they're trying to push boundaries. And so I just believe that if we can ask the right questions and let them answer them, almost always they'll come to the right conclusion. It doesn't mean that they like it, but they'll almost always get there. Yeah, sometimes they'll be like, no, you need to let me go and hang out with my friends right now, or you need to let me stay up until 2 o'clock in the morning. But they really know that they're not supposed to be staying up until 2 o'clock in the morning. So again, having this conversation with them, and I like to ask questions and put it into their lap and see what they can give me for answers. It is rare that they end up saying, yep, I still believe I should stay up till 2 o'clock in the morning. So with that discussion, I often find some balance, but the balance comes from them, not from me. I let them decide what they can do. Hey, how can you fix this? How can I help, but how can you fix this? What do you think we should do? A lot of times when you take away the argument and you just listen, often the two sides can come together, right? So that collaborative processing piece is a huge important step. I don't know if Laura or Polly, you want to add on to that.
Totally agree. And the only thing I would add is that the natural follow-up to that is to sometimes let them take a little bit of a fall. I mean, I don't mean a giant one, and we all have a different way of deciding how big of a fall we're willing to let our kids take if we have any control over that. But I agree with Jeff. They know. They might not do it, but they usually know what the right thing to do is. And I think it's different if you, at the bottom of your heart, know that your child maybe doesn't have the skills that he or she needs in order to do something and needs more support from you in that moment. It might not be that time to let them take one of these bumps. But that the way most of us learn is by taking that fall, taking that little bump, and then kind of trying to figure out, oh yeah, maybe it was that I was up till 3 a.m. that I felt so terrible the next day, or yeah, I knew my mom said I should have, gone over that essay, but I just didn't feel like it. This is my son's voice. And I didn't really like the grade that I got, but he had to take that fall because this is just me doing this until he or she is going to feel that. So that's all I would add.
I'm going to read a comment here from Jason who says for the PC laptops, I think this was a follow-up from the glasses, you can also adjust night mode. So just an important piece if you didn't already read that. And then it looks like Jason posted a link that you can follow for that. Then someone sent this to me. It just says, GCDS has made a real effort to maintain school spirit and create an element of fun, whether it is making videos for the softball coaches or doing the trick shot challenge on Instagram or guessing who the baby pick is on the morning emails. I struggled with this morning because I could not figure it out. With regard to the common complaint that we are all spending way too much time on our screens, maybe we should rely on the GCDS sense of community and schedule an all-school tech break. A one-day screen-free all-school challenge. That way it isn't we, the parents, telling them what to do, but the whole school could make a commitment to go screen-free for a day. Just a thought. Probably impossible,
tomorrow.
But thought I'd throw it out there.
That's tomorrow. It's take a breath day. Get off your screens. Get outside. The sun's shining. We did it. Next question. That was the whole thinking behind these take a breath days. We did one last week, and we have tomorrow scheduled as a day off. And we really, I know it's hard from a parent point of view. I have a 17-year-old, but this is the time to say, get outside and throw them out and lock the doors, and then take the phones and see if you can give them a little bit of time away from the screens. That was the point.
Let's see. Sorry, trying to scroll through these. Someone better at scrolling through these than me. I tend to like
think we've addressed most of those. For the
Okay.
one.
The ones that are further down.
Mhm.
Okay.
I think one more thing to add when we think about balance, I think we're all struggling with our own balance, and this is before even remote learning. And I think just thinking about how do we lead by example. So, you know, just around my house, for example, like I always have my phone on me, and I just thinking about, do I have to be on my phone all the time? And how does that look for our students? And when throughout the day can we put our devices away? You know, there's suggestions about like device-free dinners, or I know I've had students that the whole family kind of charges their phone in the kitchen at night. Again, this was like a family decision, and that was that worked well for them. But I think we can just continue modeling. When do we really need to be on our technology? And you know, especially when we're listening to our kids, and you know, put the phone down, and just modeling the right behavior that we want to see in them. I think also one thing I think about, I know in our own classes, is that if they're on the screens, like what are they using the screens for? I mean, we've seen the power of technology with remote learning. So, you know, if your student's gonna be on the screen, are they learning a new skill? Of course, we want them to code, or designing, creating a movie. And so how can we use technology to create if we're gonna be using it a lot?
So somebody wrote again to me privately, just says something about making it a challenge will really send the message home. But with the increased amount of work lately, it will be hard. I think they're talking about the No Tech Day. And then that was followed up with, thanks, Adam, love it. Can we send the message to the kids to tell them that, or did you already? The no tech tomorrow and to get outside.
We did when we sent out the notice of the 2 days, but I actually think, and I think Laura put that in the comments, I think it's a great idea to have the division heads maybe follow up with a note that goes home tonight that says, enjoy your 3-day weekend and make sure you get lots of time away from your screens, and challenge you to get out there and spend 4 hours in a row without staring at screens. And there's plenty of time to get your work done, and don't panic about that. So I like that comment from all of you who are putting that in, and we'll make sure to get that out to the divisions. I think it's really more a middle school and upper school question right now than it is upper L and lower L. And I know most of the people on this call are 6 through 12 anyway. So we'll definitely we'll hit those 2 divisions.
Any other questions or comments? And I think we got through everything in the chat box there. Any other questions or concerns, parents? Any other thoughts that you want to bring up with our community here? So somebody wrote, my kids love seeing the photos of themselves or friends on the GCDS Instagram feed. Maybe ask everyone to take photos of themselves doing something outside and while wearing GCDS logo. Wear that, the logo where that you will post or share widely, that we'll post on the GCDS Instagram. Okay, so as we wrap up here, 2 last thoughts. One is, I missed the earlier call because I had to go, I didn't have to, I really wanted to go to our high school's seniors picking up their robes. And I wish you all could have seen what that was like. And with all of the teachers lined up and cheering every senior as they drove in, the sense of community that you feel when you have every teacher lined up cheering with signs, clapping, and giving our seniors some sense of normalcy, which doesn't exist anymore. It was just such a nice feeling. And I will tell you that I know watching the seniors all together, dancing 6 feet apart, by the way, and interacting 6 feet apart. Watching them get together was wonderful, and I really enjoyed watching our faculty get together and connect and talk. It just speaks to how much we are all wanting, needing that social connection. It was really powerful for me. And so thank you, Adam and Chris, for setting that up. And I think Jackie Wood played a big part in that. It was a wonderful experience. And my last comment is next week, there will be no parent forum. So if you log in and nobody's there, that's because there is no parent forum next week. And we will be getting back to you on the week after that on whether or not there will be one as well. Other than that, I hope all of you have a wonderful afternoon. And again, if you have any questions or concerns, you know how to reach me or Polly or Laura. So enjoy the rest of your afternoon and have a nice long take a breath weekend. Bye.
Thank you.